What's a moment in the film that we didn't get to see that was a powerful moment behind the scenes?
Mm.
You know, we love trying to give the audience and Tab's fan base a sneak peek into maybe what you got to see that we didn't get to see.
What came to mind when you said that is there's a moment when that's not in the film where Superman flies into the Fortress of Solitude. We see that bit. He flies down and lands, and when he finds that the crystals have been taken, Lex takes the crystals. But what the continuation of that scene was me walking up to where the crystals sit in the structure and seeing them getting very like upset and screaming and flying up into space. And that for me as an actor and as a person was a very challenging thing to do, to get to that like rage, that Superman's rage that Lex had taken his family and something that meant so much to him. And though it's not in the movie, it opened up a part of me that I think is still important to be able to reach that, to allow that anger and frustration, that passion to come out, because I don't do that very often. I'm a very mild man. I don't like to get upset because I like to be not upset. But there's something powerful in connecting that helped me like find another part of myself and my passion and love for Superman. And Superman had that for the only thing that was his family that he had left. And I think that helped me through the end of the movie to find that, even though we don't see it in the movie, because lifting up New Krypton at the end of the movie, there's a lot of that. Like I had to, when you're pushing against something that is made up, just pushing against a board. And for a long time, like different levels of like, now I'm this high into the atmosphere. Now I'm this high in the atmosphere. How much pressure, how much force am I using? And it becomes not physical at a point. It becomes like your inner energy, what have you, my passion for life and humanity just pouring out into lifting this up and saving people. It's the passion. It's like it connected to, deep soul stuff, I guess. And though you don't see it in the movie, that carried me through and found that other, like why Superman does what he does.
Yeah.
Even though it's almost makes it worth it when you have to like put everything into it. Like it made it more real when I had to like give so much of myself. I had to unlock part of myself to really like step into the pain. I don't like pain. Who likes pain? Yeah. So it was hard to do that. And it did create a little pain, but there was releasing. It was very releasing. I don't know. It's making sense.
So after you did that scene, did you have to like, dang, what did I just exude right now? You know what I'm saying? Because you're unlocking and you're making a choice to tap into something that's not really your go-to.
Yeah. And it almost felt like un-Supermanly. Like Superman wouldn't lose that much control. He wouldn't get so upset that I was judging the character. I was judging him that he wouldn't do that. But it also humanized him, I guess, for me in that moment and made him more authentic because he wants to be. He still is human. And the more human he becomes, the more he cares. So it's before I think I was judging and separating myself. And I've done that in life just as Brandon, because I have very much privilege that I put myself outside of humanity sometimes, I think. But I have struggles, I have challenges, and I don't allow myself to grieve or be upset or to have sad moments all of the time. And that's not really helpful. Not helpful for any of us. I don't know that's masculinity. We don't want to cry. We want to be brave and strong. But I found that like pushing that off for so long only brings it deeper and stronger into me. So I've gotten better at like being upset, better at crying, better at letting it out because it actually makes me stronger and more resilient. And so I guess going through the journey in the movie made me more resilient for what was to come for the rest of the movie.
Besides Batman, probably the most iconic superhero in the history of superheroes.
Yes.
What's that energy like? Like, what are you feeling? Because you're little Brandon watching it on television, and now you get a call to possibly do that?
I mean,
What's that feeling?
it was wild, and it would have been wilder if not for one experience that happened prior, which was my first manager when I was in New York at IMTA. Jeff Maroney said to me in our first meeting, "Has anybody ever told you look a lot like Christopher Reeve?"
Mm.
I'm a huge fan of his and of Superman. I was like, no, nobody's ever said that to me. He's like, oh yeah, you do. And if there's ever a TV show or movie, definitely get you an audition on that. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. And that was the first time that I recall anyone ever bringing it up to me in my adult kind of life. I was 19 at the time. And so that kind of put it in my head. Moved to New York to be on One Life to Live, the soap opera. I was there for a year and saw Tom Welling's face everywhere, plastered on every bus. And at the time, I was not. I was upset with him for getting the job. Fast forward to we become friends, and Tom's awesome. I auditioned for a TV show, a pilot that I didn't end up getting, but he kept calling me back, and I had known going in that it was being produced by Mick G, who was going to be the director at the time. And I thought, if I do a good job at this, maybe I'll get a call back and I'll meet Mick G. And then he'll see me and he'll be like, hey, this guy should come in for my Superman movie.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Well, that kind of happened. It was his producing partner, Stephanie Savage, who was in there. And she was the one who said, hey, you should check out this guy, Brandon, because they wanted me to hire me in the show, but they didn't because I didn't have an edge. I was not an edgy guy. But it turned out to the Superman. I had a meeting with him, went through the process, screen tested. He ended up not doing the project. It all fell apart. It was devastating for me because I thought I was this close to getting Superman. Everything had led me to this path. Then it was a month of like really hard times. And then Bryan Singer, Mike Doherty, and Dan Harris came on and came up with this concept for the movie, sold it, pitched Warner Brothers. They got on board. They started casting that. And there was all these news stories going, they're casting the Globe to find the next Superman in countries all around the world. And I thought, guys, I'm still here. You haven't even talked to me. Like, didn't you see my screen test that I did before? Like, it's my job, right? Eventually, they finally called on a Friday. My agent called and said, hey, can you go meet Bryan Singer at Coffee Bean on Sunset? I was like, well, I have the worst migraine. I can't go. Can I take some Excedrin PM and meet him in like 3 hours? I can kick this headache, which I did. Went and met him, talked to him for like 2 or 3 hours. He flew to Australia to go location scouting.
What was that conversation like? What were you guys talking about?
Oh man, like I not on purpose spilled coffee when I sat down. Which helped. He loved
you just
that.
got that nervous?
Had
Is
a
that
Clark
why?
moment. I'm just clumsy. I am.
Oh, you're clumsy. So you weren't
I'm
like
not
nervous.
as clumsy as I used to be, actually, because I realized that awareness and slowing down can help me
Mm-hmm.
not be clumsy. We talked about Superman. We talked about my growing up, being from Iowa. That was all, helped because I'm from Kansas, from Iowa, and have a lot of similarities to the character. My experience, just my experiences about Superman. That I had, which I've kind of related here. The pressure he talked about, what the demands might be for the job, kind of seeing if I was up to it. But he seemed pretty on board with the possibility of me doing this from sitting down. Of course, he'd been able to see the screen test that I'd done before for the previous version and had met with so many people that he'd finally realized that nobody else was, I guess, right. And maybe that I was the guy. And by the end of the conversation, he'd gotten a call from Kevin Spacey's manager and was talking to, I believe, her as he was talking, like sitting at the table. And he was saying things like, yeah, it might be the guy. I'm meeting with him right now. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm like, dude, I'm right here. Like this is weird.
He might be the guy.
So there were all those things that were making me feel like I was still like in the groove, like in the right place. He left the conversation saying, I got to go to Australia to location scout. Would you come read with Roger Musinda, the casting director, while I'm gone? And I was like, of course I would come in and read. The director's asking me to come in. And I'm like, yes, and that kind of started the process again. Then when I went and did my screen test, there was a guy in my face, Rob Burnett, filming me saying, so what's it like? You ever been to Australia? You're going to love it. I'm like, what? I'm just doing a screen test. I don't have the job, but everyone is acting like I already had the job. So that could have thrown me off, but I just kept going, okay, I guess I'm still in the right spot. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I felt very supported by it from the very beginning. I can't explain it other than that. It's been an amazing experience to continue. I feel like Superman is an amazing character, and I've been very blessed to be able to kind of live in the energy
you were
of it.
there talking about this whole thing. As we're recording this, today is actually Christopher Reeve's birthday.
Wow.
September 25th,
That's amazing.
1952.
Rest in peace.
That's amazing. Yes.
So as we're sitting here having this conversation about Superman and you being a predecessor to his role, it's his birthday.
I was going to mention that I believe that makes him a Libra also, and I'm a Libra, and there were all these weird connections with the day he passed right around this time also, which is right around the time in 2004 when I found out that I was getting the job. All of these odd things happened in the same time, which was just really powerful and meant a lot to me. And I've had the opportunities to speak to his lovely children who I haven't spoken to in a long time, but it's an amazing world to be a part of.
So being a student of Superman and who has portrayed Superman in the past, did you do a deep dive into George Reeves as well, the original Superman?
I certainly did do a lot of research and understanding about who had come before, from Kirk Allen and the serials there, and Fleischer's cartoons, watching a lot of those, hearing some of the radio play stuff, and George Reeves, being from Iowa, actually from Walcott, Iowa, which is about 100 miles from where I'm from, was amazing. And just then learning and reading a couple books about the history of Siegel and Schuster and the inception of Superman and how he changed over the years, and just how comics were, the history of comics also. It's challenging when we're so far removed to have appreciation for the impact that these things have had on our culture, because it's only through looking back that we can kind of honor how important Superman and the comic books have been for people. But I tell you, when I go to conventions and I meet fans, so often it's very touching and humbling and moving for me to hear that Superman has been family for people, and love and hero for people who have had no other. Where I had family, who I had love. No family's perfect, but I had love and security enough that I didn't have to reach out to Superman for that, other than, other wonderful things he provided. But to know that these characters are providing hope, inspiration, and possibility for people is incredible. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And it's my understanding that has grown even after I've played the character as I'm in the community.
Let's talk about the champion idea of being, after playing Superman, what it means to you to be a hero to kids that may look up to you and be like, yo, that guy, he helped me through a really rough time.
I think it'd make me cry, actually. I don't, it's my love for Superman and appreciation for Superman and humanity grows all the time. As I understand how interconnected we all are and how important we are to each other. And we all as people have to look out for each other.
Yes.
I guess the great gift that I've had in my life is, given the moniker of playing Superman, I've had to think as Superman.
Powerful.
What would Superman do?
Give us your top 5 Supermans.
Portrayals?
Yeah. All time.
I don't know if I give you top
Brandon
5.
number 1.
I mean, Chris.
Brandon.
Christopher Reeve.
We got to get it. We need your top 5. It's important. The
Chris
fans
is my
love
number.
hearing this type of stuff.
but I don't want to single anybody out. Chris is my ultimate favorite. I dare to go any further into that to bring any other.
So you're just gonna give a top 1.
Top 1. He's the peak. I mean, I love the iterations of Superman in certain comics. I don't know that anybody can get it completely right.
Who just did the most recent one? I'm blanking on his name.
David Corenswet.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. Yeah. I think more than the actor, it's what is the story? What is the energy of Superman that is around? Because even I, in certain Superman movies, I wouldn't fare as well, because it's the person playing the character, but it's also the story and the world that's created. My Superman, my favorite versions of Superman are those that allow us to continue to speak to hope, to possibility, to love, to connecting people, our shared connectivity, and who even though the world is hard and challenging, they don't give into it, and can be teachers. I think Superman is very important.
Yeah.
Teaching us how to be better to each other.
That's right, y'all. It's Taboo Nawasha, and I hope you enjoyed geeking out with me and going straight into geek mode. For more information, for more videos, subscribe, like, and comment. Share with your friends. Much love. There it is.
Comics and kicks.